Okay, so it's been reported that Spider-Man 4 apparently is going to be a multiverse movie. Yeah, I know, the last thing we wanted to hear, but let's talk about it. So this video is going to be a bit more of just a sit down, a little bit of a discussion. Got my Pepsi Max in hand, you know how it is. But yeah, usually these videos are scripted, but I kind of wanted to just talk about this topic because this thing is just something I needed to get off my chest. I don't think I could really articulate it in a very welled manner, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, Spider-Man 4 has been doing the rounds recently, and every couple of weeks some sort of news pops up about the movie, whether it's about its plot, how it's being delayed, the writers, Tom Holland signing a contract, the villain. It's everything, man. This movie is constantly being talked about. It's constantly being leaked that something else is going wrong or something else is fighting over something. Sony's doing this, Marvel's doing this, and it's just tiring. And we know this movie's gonna eventually end up being about the multiverse, but for so long the fans have fought back saying we don't want the multiverse, and even Tom Holland and Kevin Feige have said, listen, we want a street level grounded story that ties in with the MCU Kingpin saga. This is what Marvel Studios want, but we know what Sony are like. They saw the big box office numbers for Spider-Man No Way Home. They saw the $2 billion headline, and they thought we can do that again with Spider-Man 4. Little does Amy Pascal, Avi Arad, and everyone at Sony Pictures know that is an absolutely terrible idea, and that's not what the majority of fans want. So what has happened? Why is this the case? Why are Sony Pictures going to make this a multiverse movie? And what has the recent reports been saying? Well, this comes in from Daniel RPK. Now, a bunch of people will tell you that Daniel RPK isn't reliable. However, when it came to the Spider-Man No Way Home leaks, Daniel RPK was one of the top dogs for getting leaks and information. And this came out from his Patreon. Basically, he said, the film will likely start shooting in 2025 as opposed to what we initially thought at the end of this year. And that means that when it comes to the release date, Spider-Man 4 will most likely take place in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And because these are going to be the two massive event films of the multiverse saga, that means that this film most likely will be a multiverse film. Some people even going as far to say that this film will take place on Battleworld. And now, while that does sound kind of cool, because maybe it could be a story about the symbiote, it's just not what we want. Like, for example, the MCU has had so much influence on every Spider-Man movie up until this point. There hasn't been one single Spider-Man movie where we've just kind of focused on Spider-Man. We haven't had a really grounded Spider-Man story. The last time we got that was Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, even Far From Home felt the ramifications of Avengers Endgame. Spider-Man No Way Home was a multiverse movie. And then, obviously, Spider-Man was included in Infinity War and Endgame. The last time we really felt like we had a solo, grounded, solid Spider-Man story in this universe was Spider-Man Homecoming. And even that had influences from Civil War and Tony Stark and the larger and grander MCU. And I know Spider-Man is a part of this big cinematic universe, so obviously there should be elements that influence the movie. However, it's always the wrong elements. Like, at the moment, it's the multiverse, and we just want a grounded Spider-Man story. It'd be okay if there was elements from Daredevil Born Again or Hawkeye or Kingpin involved in Spider-Man 4, because that would tie directly into the story that should be happening for this character at this point in time. But no, they're just gonna throw the multiverse at it again, and it's tiring, man. I just want a Spider-Man movie that I can dig my teeth into, that I can just enjoy the way I did with the Sam Raimi movies or even the Andrew Garfield movies. I want a movie like that again for this character, because in my personal opinion, and you might have a different opinion, but in my opinion, those types of stories are what work best with the character. When I think of Spider-Man, I want to see something like the Sam Raimi movies, like that kind of grounded feel, the grounded nature of that movie. And the more we get about Spider-Man 4 being about the multiverse, it just, I don't know, it makes my insides crawl. I just don't want to see that. I really want this movie to be grounded. I don't know how many times I can say that, but You know, I just need it to be grounded. However, I have seen some people say that they don't care if it's a multiverse movie as long as it's good. The only way they'll complain is if it's a bad multiversal movie. And to some extent, I get that, because if this movie does come out and it's about the multiverse, maybe it's set on Battleworld, Toby and Andrew in it. If it's a really good movie, then I don't think I'm going to care as much as I say I will now. So I do kind of understand that point. But at the same time, I'll link back to what I said before. I just don't want the multiverse. It's as simple as that. I know we're in the multiverse saga, so it makes sense if it was about the multiverse. But the multiverse has been severely overdone in superhero movies, not just the MCU. And we've got the Spider-Verse movies, which also deal with the multiverse. The Sonyverse is probably going to do some multiverse shenanigans as well. Like, the multiverse is everywhere. Just give us one Spider-Man movie where the multiverse doesn't exist, please. Like, at this point, I just really want this movie to be anything but the multiverse. I guess the saving grace with this movie potentially being set in between Doomsday and Secret Wars is that we might actually get a comic-accurate symbiote story. This is a story that I think a lot of people have wanted to see on the big screen for a long time. And yes, the symbiote is overused in Spider-Man media, especially the mainstream Spider-Man 3, Venom, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, like, you name it. There are so many stories where the symbiote is used, but not one of them have ever decided to do it the way it was done in the original comics in the original Secret Wars. So I guess that would be really interesting, and it would be really cool to see. However, I just don't think this is the case, because the symbiote at the end of No Way Home and the whole Venom thing that they're trying to do, I don't know where that's going to lead, but if somehow that piece of the symbiote goes to Battleworld, and I don't know how they're gonna do it, but, you know, it doesn't look like it's going that way. Let's just put it like that. But yeah, I guess that would be pretty cool if they were to go in that direction. But yeah, I just don't see that happening, so I'm not really too sure. I've made countless videos on MCU Spider-Man thus far, and every single time I voice my opinion about something I think would be cool to see in the movie, or maybe even avenues that Tom Holland's version of the character hasn't gone down in the MCU yet, or different stories that they could adapt from the comics, which would really fit into this very lonely nature that the character finds himself in at the end of No Way Home. There's so many different directions and interesting stories you can use. Side characters like Black Cat, who have never had a chance really on the big screen, could tie very well into this story. Not to mention, a very hyped crossover with Daredevil would be really cool. But every time I voice one of these opinions and I say, hey, this thing would be great, and I'm sure you guys have as well, it seems we get multiple reports of, oh, this movie is not going to be doing that, it's going to be doing this instead. It's like, it just blows my absolute freaking mind. Let me know in the comments below, what do you want MCU Spider-Man 4 to be, and are you just damned that this thing is going to be about the multiverse? Here you can watch my video on your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, breaking down everything we know about that show after D23. Just catch a break from MCU Spider-Man 4. Watch this video instead. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.